This is some practice with using the Pythagorean Theorem. Number 1. An archaeologist at the dig sets up a coordinate system using string. 2 similar artifacts are found. One at position 1, 4. So it's really hard to see your coordinate plane here, your axis. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight those. All the way down the page. So let's put this one 1, start in the middle. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your first one. And the other at 5, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. How far apart were the 2 artifacts? Round to the nearest tenth of a unit. So I want to know, what is the distance from here to here? Well, now that we know about the Pythagorean theorem, all we need to do is make a right triangle, and we can find what the distance is. Remember, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And your legs are at the right angle. So this is a leg and this is a leg, and those are always your A and B. Doesn't matter which one's A and which one's B as long as they are the legs of the triangle. Across from the right angle is your hypotenuse, and it is always your C. And that is what we're looking for. So A squared would be 1, 2 units plus 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I misdid it. I think I've mistaken here. Let's recount these. 1 up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up 1, 2. I guess that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 5 units. Okay. So that's right. Just want to make sure. So we have 2 squared, be 4, plus 4 squared is 16, equal c squared. So 4 plus 16 is 20. And if you find the square root of that, you'll have your units. And when you label it, you need to label it units. Number 2. In chess, April is a valid chess player. She sets up a coordinate system on her chessboard so she can record the position of the pieces during a game. In the recent game, April noted that her king was at 4, 2. So let's do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 1, 2. This is where her king was. And at the same time that her opponent's king was at 7, 8. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. How far apart were the 2 kings? Round to the nearest tenth of a unit if necessary. So again, we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So I want to know from here to here. So we need to draw a right triangle so we can figure out what it is. So again, the right angle, these will be your legs, and this is your leg. It connects to the right angle. So it can be A, B. Across is your longest side called the hypotenuse, and it is C. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A, 1, 2, 3, plus B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, equals C squared. 3 squared is 9, plus 6 squared is 36, equals C squared. 9 plus 36 is 45, and you need to square it. Round to the nearest tenth. You will need to see if you round up or keep it the same, but label it in units. Number 3, treasure hunting. Tarot uses a coordinate system with units of feet to keep track of the locations of any object he finds with his metal detector. One lucky day, he found a ring at 5, 7. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's his ring. And an old coin at 1, 4. How far apart were the ring and the coin before Tarot found them? Round to the nearest tenth. Okay. Again, that's what we're wanting to find out. So we need to draw a right triangle that has the 90-degree right angle. Your legs are connected to the angle, the 90 degrees, so we can label A, B, and C is your hypotenuse, which is the longest side. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A is 1, 2, 3, 4 squared plus B, which is 1, 2, 3 squared equals C squared. So 4 squared is 16 plus 3 squared is 9 equals C squared. 9 plus 16 is 25, C squared. And this is, you always have to remember to unsquare it. Again, you are in units. Number 4 is actually going to be a 2-step problem. This is getting you to try to think and problem solve. The coordinates of points A, B, and C are 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is A. B will be -2, 1, 2, 1. And that is B. And C will be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. And that is your C. So, we're going to attach them and form a triangle. And if you notice, it's an acute triangle. All of our angles are less than 90 degrees. Which point, B or C, is closer to A? So I want to see, what is this and what is this? Which one is the closest? Well, to prove that, we're going to have to think about this. How can I find out? It's not a straight line, but I can make a right angle if I draw it in. So there's a right angle, and there's your right angle. So this would be A, B, C. A, B, C. Okay? So let's do A to B or B to A. Oops, A. Got to label it so we'll know what we're talking about here. And same formula, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Oops, sorry. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squared equals C squared. Well, 3 squared is 9. 7 squared is 49 equals C squared. 9 plus 49 is 58 equals C squared. Remember to unsquare it. And that will be, I've already used that highlighter. This is AB. So now we need to prove what AC is. So AC will be 1 A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 1 unit here at the bottom. So 1 squared plus B squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equals C squared. 1 squared is 1 plus 8 squared is 64. So that would be 65 equals C squared. Unsquare them, and that would equal C. And that would be your AC right here. So you'll just see which one is the shortest because you want to find which one is the closest. So blank is closest to A. I would put down here B to A equals this many units, and C to A equals this many units. So B to A from here to here, and A to C would go from here. Okay, from here to here. And then see which one is the closest to A, which would be your smaller number. Remember, you must show all your work. If I'm doing it, you need to be doing it. Okay, kind of bled through. Okay, number 1. To the nearest tenth of a unit, which of the following is the perimeter of the rhombus? Perimeter is going to be adding up all sides. But we have to find out what is this one side. They're all the same size, but we have to find out what's one size. So again, find your right triangle. Your right triangle. This is your right angle, so your legs attached to it, so it would be A, B, and there's your C as a hypotenuse, your longest side. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared would be 1, 2, 3 plus B squared 1, 2, 3, 4 equals C squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25 equals C squared. You need to square root, and then that is just from A to B. To find the perimeter, you must add all sides up. Let's go ahead and do number 3 on top of the page. The grid below shows Tyler's house and the houses of 2 of his friends, Pedro and Jake. On the grid, each unit square represents 1 mile. So I'm just going to tell you, we're going to have to connect the dots. This is not a right triangle. This is an acute triangle where all the angles are less than 90. So remember what we did on the back page. We have to think outside the triangle. So what we're going to want to do is make a triangle here, which this is my right angle, which means these are my legs, so we'll label A, B. And from Jake to Pedro's house, a right triangle, legs, A, B. And then from Pedro's to Tyler's house, again, there's our right angle. And these are our legs attached to the right angle, so it will be A, B. So we're looking for the measurements of inside the triangles. This one's pretty lengthy, so I'm going to use notebook paper, and you will need to do the same to prove your answers. So we're going to go from Pedro's to Jake's first. Pedro to Jake. Okay, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we have 1 unit squared plus B squared would be 7 squared equals C squared. 1 squared is 1. 7 squared is 49. 49 plus 1 is 50. And you will need to unsquare it. And you will have from Pedro's to Jake's house. You might want to mark it there really large. Okay, now from, let's see, Jake's to Tyler's. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. From Jake to Tyler's. For A, 1, 2, 3 squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 squared equals C squared. Sorry. 3 squared is 9 plus 6 squared is 36 equals C squared. 9 plus 36, 45 equals C squared. You must unsquare it. And that will be from Jake's to Tyler's house. I'm going to fold my paper so I can go up a little bit. And now we need to do from Pedro's to Tyler's. Pedro to Tyler's. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So your A squared would be 1, 2, 3, 4. B squared would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals C squared. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25 equals C squared. Add these two together. You should get 41 equals C squared. Square root. And there you have Pedro's to Tyler's. And so now you take all those, and you might want to even put them on the paper. So we did Pedro's to to Jake's, Jake's to Tyler's, and Pedro to Tyler's. And just put them here. And then you're going to read the questions. Which of the following statements is true? Tyler lives closer to Jake than to Pedro. So compare Tyler. Does he live closer to Jake or Pedro? B, the sum of the distance. Sum means adding. The sum of the distance between the boys' houses is less than 18 miles. Remember, each unit represented 1 mile. So less than 18 miles if you added them all up. The sum of the distance between the boys' houses is greater than 20 miles. So again, sum is adding. Distance between all their houses is greater than 20 miles. D, Jake lives about 1.4 miles closer to Tyler than to Pedro. Look back up here and compare. And choose the correct answer. Number 2 and 4, we're going to show on graph paper. And you will need a whole sheet of graph paper. So, number 4 gets large. Number 2, you just need to really make quadrant 1. So, X, Y, this is your quadrant 1. There's no need to draw the other ones because it's all positive. Parallelogram DEFG has vertices of 5, 3, 7, 7, 12, 7, and 10, 3. To the nearest unit, write the perimeter of the parallelogram. Perimeter is adding all sides up. So let's plot them. D will be, here's your origin, 5, 3. That is D. 7, 7, well, there's 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is E. F is 12, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 7 will be even with E. F. G is 10, 3. So 10 and up 3. 1, 2, 3. And that is G. So there you have your parallelogram. Connect the sides. Sides, connect dots. Okay. So what, to the nearest unit, what is the perimeter of parallelogram? So we want to find out how much this side is, this side, this side, this side, add them all up, perimeter. Well, we know this one. We can count the units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units. What we're going to have to find out is how far this side is. So, make your right triangle. Okay, there is your right angle. So these are your legs attached to the right angle. So A, B. Across is your hypotenuse, which is your longest side, C. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared would be 1, 2, plus B squared, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 squared is 4. 4 squared is 16. So I'm sorry, I was just thinking ahead. Okay, so 4 plus 16 is 20 equals c squared. You're going to have to find the square root. And I'm going to tell you, your answer is going to be 4.472 blah, blah, blah. You need to round that to 4.5 because it says about. It says to the nearest unit, but it's really, just trust me, keep it at 4.5. So 5 plus 5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5, and you'll have your answer. 5 plus 5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5, and you have your answer. Number 4. This one is going to take the whole page. So, let's see. Let's see how to do it. Nope, we need to start down here, really low, because we got to go way up on the page. So make your one coordinate plane right there. And you're gonna make your kite. And I'm about to run out of time, so I'm just gonna throw the one I did earlier up. That's what it's gonna look like. It's a large kite. Okay, here's your kite. This is what it's wanting to know. What are the diagonals? So make your right triangle. These are your legs. These are your legs. To find out what the diagonals are. And it's going to say, what is the difference between the two? Well, I got this diagonal as a 10.4, this diagonal as a 20.2. When you find the difference, I think it's about 8.4, but a 9.4 or 9.8, because the answers are, there's not a 9.8, but which ones is the closest to it. But show all this work, pause it, write it down, the bell's fixing to ring, and you'll have your work shown on this one.